5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're almost there. We're this far up.
We're almost there.
We're here. I'm shaking it back and forth. Third world development country. And when God blessed the land of Israel, He blessed it with 7 fruits. One of them was the date. Yeah, the 7th fruit of the land. It's the date, the figs, and the flora here and there. I'll point out. So if you look at the signs, you'll see the Hebrew, English, and Arabic, the 3 languages. But 3.5 million Jews left to the U.S. By the end of the 19th century. Tel in Hebrew, it means an ancient site, such as Megiddo. Tel, T-E-L, it's a general name for a biblical mount. We understand from the stories in the Bible that there were lots of trees in the country, especially on the high ground, and probably down here along the coastal plain there were lots of trees. And that's the main, or the meaning for the name Sharon. Sharon, it comes from an ancient language, or Semitic language, and it means oak trees. So we have a tradition here in Israel that once a year there is a special day that children will go out to plant trees. Every child that is born in Israel, a tree will be planted on his behalf. So every day we are planting trees in Israel. And think about all the wild animals that once were here. They are gone too. We're talking about bears and lions. Lots of stories in the Bible about them, right? David killed both a lion and a bear. Samson with his bare hands killed a young lion. They're mentioned in the Bible many times. They're gone. That's belong to Netanya. It's the same, yeah. It's just a new neighborhood. Nathaniel, one of the 12, right? Netanya, Nathan, it means God's gift. It's a beautiful name. And it was named after Nathan Strauss, the founder of the city. In 1928, Netanyahu Nathan Strauss. You can see the state bird of Israel to your left, the construction crane. Because you see it everywhere. And wherever you go in Israel, and that's something that it's so obvious, you see new construction, new development, wherever you go. This is also a brand new stadium. And swamps, yeah. His prayers. And the Bible tells us that he stayed many days with Simon the Tanner at Joppa. And then he followed 2 men that were sent to him by Cornelius from Caesarea to here. And they went to Joppa to call him, and he went with them to Caesarea. So Caesarea, the place where Cornelius became a believer, the first pagan worshipper, right? That was converted with all his household. The place where Paul shared his testimony was Caesarea. This is the place, no doubt, where the doors were open. Right? Most of the disciples who went away across the Mediterranean, if it was to Ephesus or to the west to spread out the good news, left the port of Caesarea. Caesarea was a big, there was a big harbor there. It was a seaport city built by Herod the Great. And a lot of the international trading between the east and the west went right through here. Carmel. It's a mountain range, so notice it's not a mountain, it's not one independent mountain. This mountain range, it's about 10 miles long. And soon we will leave the main road, Road 2, and you see we will take the next exit to the right. And and we'll be heading to Mount Carmel. City up there, it is Zikaron Yaakov, and it means, the translation in English should be the remembrance of Jacob. Remembrance of Jacob. Which one? Not biblical Jacob. Jacob Rothschild. There are Arab towns. Usually the way to recognize it, it's the moment you see a tower or a mosque, a minaret. It's a good indication there's an Arab community. So notice Mount Carmel. We are here on the mountain, heading to the monastery. You can see it far to the right.
I have an orange cat at home I miss so much.
It is a good song. That's a great song. It's just great.
These are the symbols.
The Jezreel Valley extends from the Jordan Valley, okay, the eastern region of Israel. It's the Jordan River, which is the international border between Israel and Jordan. I'm not sure in Galilee it's like something that is round. So I'm not sure because of the Israeli Air Force. They keep the jets underground, that's why you don't see much above ground. And they bring them up with the lifts or elevators, and only then they will take off. So this is a big, very strategic airbase for Israel because we are not far away from Lebanon or from Syria. It's difficult to think about, but 20 miles away, 25 miles away to the left, it is Lebanon. Okay? Northeast, passing Galilee should be Syria. To the east, Jordan. 1917, the British against the Turks. Okay, biblical times, Josiah fought and died in the valley here. The Crusaders fought here against the Muslims. Genghis Khan, you heard about him, was defeated here by the Mamluks of Egypt. Great battle right here.
The Kishon Brook.
And remember also the rest of the end of the story, Elijah sent his servant. 6 times he went to the top of the hill looking for clouds, and he saw nothing, but on the 7th time, which is again the number of God, you see the tomb, and then the inner part was divided to niches and holes. But the entrance to the tomb was blocked by a rolling stone. Here you can see one. You see this mentioned in the Bible, right? So we used to roll over the stone to block the way in. And this is one of the few tombs left in the country from that time period where you can still see it. Before the 50s, not long ago, the concept was wrong. When people came and began to work and to excavate in such places, they did the wrong thing. The Canaanite gates. It goes back to the Canaanite period, 1500 BC. But the Solomonic gate had 4 doors. And remember, the city gate is mentioned in the Bible many times. It was the place where the prophets were prophesying before the people, the king before. So we continue all the way up to the camp.
Yeah, it's a grain sign.
Oh, yeah, I think that is.
Sign says water cistern.
These are the chariot grounds. Look, there are. In the biblical lands.
Farther and farther I must go. I cannot stop until I reach the bottom.
He doesn't want to take with flesh. It's like, I can't make out.
Turn and smile, Lovebird.
Watch your head. Oh, that is water. I thought you were kidding.
No, I was pretty serious about it.
Yeah, it's the name of it is Mount Tabor, and it is mentioned in the Bible. A great battle took place at the foot of the hill there, or the mountain. It was the time that Barak, the judge, the time of the prophetess Deborah. Remember, not Barack Obama. The Canaanites came with 900 chariots. Okay, and the Israelites were on top of the hill. When they came to the Kishon, they were not able to go across because it was flooded and the chariots sank in the mud. And then the soldiers went down and cut them, right? So that's the famous story. The Song of Deborah was composed over that great victory that they had. Another great battle. So the Kishon, notice the name, the Kishon starts here. It runs along the valley to the Mediterranean on your left. So it says in the Bible that they took Jesus, they brought him out of the town in order to throw him off the cliff, but he walked through their midst and went on his way.
Linear change.
Usually the relationship are okay. Why two bell towers? One for the groom and one for the bride. No, seriously. Two animal horns, the horns of Hittim. Hittim or Hittim, it means wheat. In other words, the horns of the wheat fields. Okay? The land and established their kingdom here. The Jerusalem was their capital. It's called the First Crusader Kingdom in the land, and after about 88 years, they were defeated right here, nearby the hill. Muslims set fire in the dry bush here, and because of the heat, down here, the Sea of Galilee. It's quite a big lake here. Tiberias, where we are now, we're on the west side of the lake. Okay, the other side, the east shore, you see the high mountains on the other side. It is another region. It's not the Galilee anymore, the Golan Heights. Okay, I'm sure you've heard about that. Israel took the Golan Heights from Syria in 1967, and I'll show you the sign, and we are going underwater. Look, 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 look. We are now in the Yellow Submarine.
Go get our suitcases and probably just come down and eat because I don't like to eat late. But you can come down all the way to 9 o'clock. And tomorrow morning it's terrific. You'll have a good coffee. They actually have a coffee machine so you can get lattes and cappuccinos, and it's all free here at this place for breakfast. So again, when we stop here, just take your bags, head off to the lobby. There's probably a welcome drink.
What's that out there?
Oh my gosh, honey, it's our own personal balcony. There's nobody out here.
Yeah, let's make sure we don't get locked up.